And joining us now from the Bloomberg Google Hangout at the U.S. Africa Business Forum is Secretary of Commerce Penny Pritzker. You are the organizer of this along with Bloomberg Philanthropies. I got to tell you, the end of the day, congratulations. You made it. You look energetic. I don't know how you do it, but I want to know, what was the highlight today for you?
Well, first of all, partnering with Michael Bloomberg is a real highlight. He is terrific, and they've been extraordinary partners. You know what the highlight is? First of all, you get 51 heads of state in a room with 100 American business leaders and 100 African business leaders. And frankly, you feed them a little bit, and you're nice, and you offer up, and they just do business. It's so exciting. And the highlight, what's come out of this is enormous enthusiasm, great relationships. The president announced $14 billion of deals, and I think that is just the beginning. I think the other thing that's come out of this is a recognition by many, many people about the opportunity that exists in Africa today.
And so basically a little nosh and a lot of cash.
You know what, a little nosh and a lot of business activity. It's exciting.
So I want to know the Commerce Department's role. Tell me a little bit about what Commerce does in terms of laying the groundwork for American businesses to get engaged in other countries, in terms of easing barriers for U.S. businesses, because I think that's a story that doesn't often get told.
Well, let me tell you I think one of the best kept secrets in America, and something though that ought to be taken advantage of by any entrepreneur, any business leader, is our U.S. Export Assistance Centers. We have 100 centers around the United States that are run by the Commerce Department that help American businesses identify where in the world their products are competitive. And then we have foreign commercial service officers in 75 countries around the world that help American businesses navigate opportunity, finding you a partner or a distributor, or help you with financing, or navigate a challenge. And then we are here at the headquarters are focused on trying to then, if there are larger barriers, negotiating directly with the other ministers about larger barriers. It's really exciting what's happening in Africa. We're expanding, we're doubling the size of our footprint in Africa because there's so much business opportunity. And my hope is, I've met with a number of leaders over the last couple of days. They are so excited to have more American business presence. They like the way we do business. They like the fact that we respect rule of law. They like the fact that we're transparent. They like the fact that we respect the labor force, that we train our labor force. They like the fact that our businesses invest in the communities where they do business. Now, on the flip side, I'll tell you something else that I think is really exciting. Today, our exports to Africa support 250,000 American jobs. So every day, 250,000 Americans get up in the morning and go to work, and their job is supported by something that's being sold to somebody in Africa, which is pretty exciting. But there's so much more to do. I think we're at the beginning of a great opportunity, and that's what today has been about.
We've heard that the Treasury Department's looking at whether the president has the ability to basically stop corporate inversion, and I wonder about that, if there are any concerns about companies investing overseas and then keeping the profits over there. Do you worry about that at all? Is there anything you do to encourage them to bring profits back in?
I think that, look, this administration is very much in favor of corporate tax reform, as are most corporations. They recognize that the incentives set up by our tax structure don't make sense as it is. And so we need that kind of reform. But until there's reform, the laws are in place, and so companies are doing what they're doing.
And I want to know a little bit about the way that you work with other government agencies, because I know that the State Department is involved to some degree in terms of engaging businesses overseas. Ex-Im Bank's obviously involved in loans and loan guarantees. Can you talk a little bit about the whole of what the U.S. government does in terms of encouraging U.S. investment, particularly in Africa?
Sure. Well, I have the honor, and I'm humbled by the honor, of being the chief commercial advocate for American business. And that's what the president asked me to do. He said, I want you to come into this job. I want you to build a bridge with the business community. I want you to make sure that the voice of business is heard in my administration. And I want you to go out and be the chief commercial advocate for American business domestically and around the world. And so that's, I get to play this kind of lead role in helping economic growth for the benefit of Americans to create jobs here. It's very exciting to do it. Now, we work in partnership, as you referenced, so we work closely with the Exim Bank on various financings. We run something called the Advocacy Center. So if you're a U.S. company and you're competing for business outside the United States, we bring a whole of government approach. We coordinate all the various members of the cabinet and all the way up to the president in terms of advocating on behalf of your winning that business. So we bring, we play a coordinating role and try and use the best, bring a whole of government approach to helping American businesses around the world. It's fun and it's exciting, and frankly, as I go have the privilege of traveling on behalf of American business around the world, there's a lot of opportunity. Governments want us there. The business executives want us there. Other leaders want us all over the world, and particularly in Africa. And you're seeing it here at this summit. It's very exciting.
How does our investment in Africa affect our national security and foreign policy goals?
It improves our national security, because I'm a fundamental believer that if we have economic relationships, then we're going to figure out, if we have differences on a national security, we're going to figure it out because we have deep ties. And I've had multiple leaders around the world say that to me. So it's an important component of our diplomatic strategic relationships that we also lever our economic relationships.
Now, you've been at this all day today, and
Yes.
obviously for days and weeks and months. Aside from the end of the day here in a moment, what was your favorite part of today? What do you take away? What do you think is the big takeaway from this business forum today? And can you put it in context of, you said the U.S. is engaging in investing more in Africa. I think we're going from 1% to 2% of our foreign direct investment, a doubling, which is a lot, but also it seems like there might be more room.
Oh, there's a lot more room. I think the thing that was most exciting to me today is that while $14 billion is, to me, a very large number, that there's so much more to be done, and we've only just begun. And what has been really, I'm all about the specifics. In other words, and what I've heard from government leaders is they're giving us lists of opportunities and asking us in all these different sectors, please bring your American businesses to our country, introduce us. We want to do business with them. And you know why that's great? That's going to help America prosper. That's going to help create jobs in the United States. And that's something that makes me very excited.
Well, congratulations on a long day successfully pulled off. I think most of the folks are going out of the hotel, some of them going to a state dinner tonight. Really appreciate you joining us here, and still dynamic after all these hours.
Well,
so
you
thank
know what? You've had a long day as well, and you're dynamic as well, so this has been lots of fun, and thank you for having me.
Secretary of Commerce Penny Pritzker, thank you all for joining us on the Bloomberg Google Hangout at the U.S. Africa Business Forum in the Mandarin Hotel in Washington, D.C.